Hi guys. Something that's been coming up a lot in therapy, well, been coming up, always comes up in just conversations anyways, is assumptions. And often what we do when we have an assumption is we treat it and respond as if it's a fact. And it's really important to notice when you have an assumption and when you are responding to the assumption as if it's a fact. For example, if I go to the bank and if I call the bank, let's say I call the bank and I have a problem with my account and I'm really angry and having a heated conversation with whoever answered the phone, the customer service person, and then the phone disconnects. And I say, bitch hung up on me. I'm assuming that the person on the other end of the phone hung up on me, and I'm also calling her a name as if she 100% hung up on me, and I'm reacting to that as if it's a fact. Or if, another example, if the person at the bank says, I'm sorry, there's nothing that I can do to help you. There's nothing that I can do differently. I can't fix that for you. And I say, well, she doesn't give a crap about me. She doesn't even want to do her job. She's probably just, of course, she's not going to want to do her job. She makes shit for money, and so she's not going to try for me because she doesn't get paid enough. So these are all assumptions, but the problem with them, the problem not with the assumption, but the problem with what I'm doing is I am treating them as facts, and then what's left over is me feeling angry, me feeling hurt, me feeling disrespected, me feeling insulted, when the only thing that happened was the person on the other end of this phone either got disconnected in some way, or maybe this person did hang up. Sometimes assumptions are correct. Often they're not, but sometimes they can be correct. Or the person on the other end of the phone said, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I can't do what you need me to do, or I can't make this different for you. So what we really need to do is, one, be aware of when we're making an assumption. Two, if we can, check our assumptions. For example, if I'm assuming that my friend is mad at me, then I can check my assumption by saying, are you mad at me? Ask a question to check your assumption. Sometimes we can't check our assumptions, or we shouldn't check our assumptions. If someone is deceased or someone refuses to talk to us, then we can't just ask them a question. Also, if we know that no matter what that person says, we are not going to believe them. I don't care what she says. I know exactly what she's thinking. Then she's going to lie and she's going to say that she's not mad at me when I know she is. So now I'm assuming she's going to lie. But regardless of all that, I know I'm not going to believe anything other than my assumption. And so if that's the case, why would I check my assumption? Because that could just lead to more frustration and anger and conflict. So in those situations where we can't check our assumptions, what we can do is challenge them. If we're going to assume, let's assume other things as well. If we're going to assume this person is just trying to be a jerk, hung up on me, can I also assume that maybe the phone got disconnected? Can I assume that maybe my cheek, well, I had the phone up to maybe my cheek disconnected her. If I'm assuming that this person doesn't want to help me because she doesn't get paid enough and she doesn't give a crap about the customers for the $8 an hour or whatever, $10 an hour, whatever minimum wage is now, I don't even know. Can I also assume other things that make this person a little bit more of a human being than a monster? Can I assume that maybe she does care very much? Maybe this is like, can I assume that this might be the third conversation she's had like this, and she's so frustrated that she feels powerless in helping the customers? Can I assume that she got off the phone and went to her boss and said, listen, something's got to be done about this because these people are not being served well by us? Can I assume that she's in her mind going, I wish there was more I can do? Can I assume that she had a really bad day and something tragic could have happened in her family, and maybe she's not thinking much about me because she's got so much other stuff on her mind that's really pressing for her and really hard? So if we're going to make an assumption, we at the very least need to recognize that we made an assumption. We need to own that we've made the assumption. And then we get to decide, do I want to check my assumption by asking a question if that's possible? Do I want to assume other things that might make this person seem like less of a monster, less of a jerk, more of a human being, and quite possibly may lead to me feeling differently about the situation? If you notice in a conversation that you're making assumptions, what would it be like for you to say out loud to the person that you're having a conversation with, I just realized I've been making assumptions here. I'd like to check those assumptions. Can I ask you a couple questions? What would it be like to do that? What would it be like to put your anger down, put your defenses down, put your having to be right down for just a little bit in the name of understanding instead? And some self-disclosure about knowing that you've made an assumption. Give it a try and see how it works in your next conversation. Take care.